Welcome! My name is Michelle and I am your emotional resilience coach, and I am so excited to have you join me here today. What I like to do is I like to empower people. I like us to break free of the chains of victimhood and stand in our power. Own our story, change the narrative of our story where necessary, and be the people we were always meant to be. Part of healing is discovering who we actually are beneath all those layers of hurt and pain. If this sounds like it's resonating with you, if you are sick and tired of being sick and tired, or if you know of anyone who is sick and tired of being sick and tired, please hit subscribe, like the notifications button, send it to people that this can benefit, because my passion is to enable more and more people to stand in their power. I have been there. I have been in that place of being sick and tired of being sick and tired. All right, so today what I'm going to do is I'm going to chat about just a couple cognitive distortions that we all have. This is not to beat yourself up. This is not to fight with yourself. This is not to judge yourself. The society as a whole has faulty, wonky thinking. We all know that. We can just look around and we can see it. Perhaps we picked it up from our caregivers. Perhaps it is part of our programming. Maybe we were in a childhood growing up that was traumatic, it was abusive, it was dysfunctional in some way, and we have taken on these ways of thinking that don't serve us or anybody else. Now, this is just to give you leverage over your brain. And when I say that, what I mean is know it, understand it, and be aware. When you fall into those patterns, and I too fall into those patterns at times, you can be onto yourself and say, oh, this is what I'm doing. This is not serving me. This is not serving anyone. This is keeping me stuck. What can I replace these thoughts with? How can I replace these thoughts? Okay? All right, so just a couple that I'm going to go through today that really were things that I still have to work through, or I see often come up with my clients. All right, first and foremost, all or nothing thinking. This is when we have extreme thoughts about ourselves and about life. This is when we use words like always or never. All right, we kind of work in this realm of absolutes. This always happens to me, or this never happens for me, or I am never going to get this right, or people always hurt me. Whatever it is, these thoughts that they don't serve us, they keep us stuck, they keep us in this place of victimhood, we can look at and ask ourselves, really? All right, and sometimes it's difficult because we believe it so intrinsically, because we've always believed it. A nice, gentle way to kind of ease ourselves out of that is to say, maybe, which allows room for, it gives you space for, perhaps, you're right, this is what it is, or it's different and I just haven't seen it yet, but I'm going to look out for it, all right? It allows for so many other options, that middle space. It allows for this middle space to be explored, for us to be curious about it and to say, well, what else could it be? Another thing that we tend to do is emotional reasoning. What that means is we make decisions purely based on how we are feeling. And this can be so dangerous. We can have an experience and we can perhaps just be already feeling a little bit moody, a little bit hormonal. Maybe our dopamine levels are really low, our serotonin levels are really low. We're feeling already a little bit out of sorts, and we go into a scenario and we go into a situation and we judge it according to how we are feeling through those lenses. And we could be way off. We really could. And I've had those moments. I've had those situations where I wasn't feeling good going into it, and I come out feeling even worse. And my husband will ask me, so what did you think? And I would just be picky. Oh, I didn't like this. And this wasn't good. And you know, we tend to be a little bit picky about things. And actually it was fine. And actually the situation was really good. And actually it really wasn't a bad experience. But because of how I was feeling, I projected that onto the situation. So that's what I mean by emotional reasoning. We're looking through the glasses of our emotions that are already there, and we pre-decide instead of allowing the space to be open to the wonder, the magic, the fun, the joy that we could experience. All right? So what we do is we feel something that it must be true, okay? And our emotions are just messengers. They're not truth, they're not facts. And then we look for evidence to justify it, to carry on justifying that feeling that we already went into the situation having. All right. The third thing I want to discuss with you today is this shoulding on ourselves. All right. Should have. I should have done this. It should have happened like this. That it should have been different. All right. And this is a really big topic, and I have covered it briefly before. What is so difficult about this thought of should have is that it just keeps us stuck, and it just keeps us confused, and it just keeps us spinning. This is a very difficult concept to work with because it's not one that happens overnight. This is one that happens over time, and we really need to be patient and gentle with ourselves. And that is acceptance. And a thought that I love to use whenever I start shitting in my head is everything happens exactly the way it's supposed to, because I received the lessons that I needed for my growth so that I can reach my higher self. We get to choose all the time what we're going to take out of the experiences we have. And I'm not minimizing for 1 second the horrors, the traumas, the pains that we sometimes endure and that we go through. That's not what this is about. What I'm saying here is it was horrible, it sucked, and acknowledge that, absolutely acknowledge that, but don't fall into the trap of it should have been different, because that just keeps you stuck in a place of wishing. All right, accepting it for what it is, accepting the experience, accepting the journey allows again space for you to make peace with what has happened. For you, it's not condoning, it's not saying that was fantastic. It's saying, okay, that's what happened. All right, there's no arguing with that. There's a saying, I think it might come from Byron Katie, who said if you're going to argue with your past, you're only going to fail 100% of the time. All right, so we're not going to argue with it. We're just going to go, okay, that happened. Now what? How can I grow from this? What can I take out of this experience? Does this experience allow me to be more compassionate, empathetic? What lessons have I learned? What lessons about myself have I learned? What areas within me do I need to look at so that I can be the stronger, better version of me? Okay, personalization. This is when we take everything very personally, and personalization, what generally happens is this is where we look to assign blame. So we either take on ourselves guilt and responsibility that is not even ours, or we have to find someone to blame. All right, it is her fault, their fault, his fault, whatever it is, whoever it is you feel you need to blame. It's because what we've done is we've taken a situation, we've taken a scenario, and we've made it something personal. We've made it mean something about us. And oh my gosh, I did this for years and years and years. And it just keeps you so stuck in a rut of pain, because what I'm doing with personalization is I'm making it mean something about me intrinsically, who I am as a person, my value, my worth. All right, this is where we start getting into that territory of hustling for our worthiness, of people pleasing, of just taking other people's behavior and other people's actions and making it mean something negative about ourselves. All right, what I like to do here is I like to say everyone needs to have their own journey, and this is their journey. If their journey is coming out at this time of one of hurt and pain and lashing out and being unkind, I can love that person from a distance, but I really don't need to have them in my life. All right? I can't go down the road they're going down. I can't follow them there. I can't allow myself to be the punching bag. All right, I need to heal me. And while I heal me, I'm going to let you do your thing, and I'm going to realize and understand that this is your journey for your growth, for your development, the lessons you need to have in your life. And perhaps I've experienced a little bit of it already, but I can now take my power back and say, no more. This is where I draw the line. Your pain is triggering my pain, and I can't do that. All right? This is where I stand. And I'm not going to take this personally anymore. I'm going to understand that this is about you. This is about your demons. This is about your battles. This is what you're going through. And I can absolutely love you through it. But while you're in that intense, lash out, hurt stage, I'm not going to be there for you. I'm going to just kind of stand in the background. And if, and when, big if, because oftentimes, you guys are the minority. A lot of times people don't step out of that pain. They don't heal. They just keep lashing out and hurting and bullying. And it is not about you. It is never a reflection on you. It comes from this deep place of shame, this deep place of hurt, this deep place of I must hurt. It kind of feels when they do it that even if it's temporarily, they kind of take the edge off of their own pain. The sad part about that, though, is that it is a double-edged sword. So when people hurt, what's happening is they're really just hurting themselves even more. All right, and that goes obviously for ourselves too. And the last one that I'm going to cover for today is the need to always be right. All right, this is when we fall into the realm of perfectionism, when we use denial as a shield, and we are not going to look at where and how we could possibly be wrong, or perhaps where there is room for growth or understanding, or where we allow people the space to be who they want to be, right? We kind of feel that maybe we should go in and fix everybody. We feel that our way is the right way, and it has to be done this way. And there is this sense of control, of needing to control, because by controlling, we will feel safer. All right, it's all about just trying to build up this idea of safety for ourselves and safety for others. So we feel that if I can get X to do Y, or B, however that I feel they need to be, or show up in the world however I feel they need to show up in the world, then that means I'll be safe. All right, and that comes from a place of trauma, this urgent need of being safe. So we need to control everything and everyone around us so that we can create this idea of safety. And there what I do is I like to do affirmations of I am safe. All right, I am safe. I don't need them to see my point of view for me to be safe. I'm safe. I'm in the present. I'm not in the past. I'm here now. This place is safe. This person is not my enemy. They're allowed to have a different viewpoint. They're allowed to live their lives differently, because who am I to say what experiences they are or aren't supposed to have for their particular journey? These are thoughts that I have found better serve me in my relationships with other people. These are ones that I felt that come up the most, at least for me. If there are perhaps ones that perhaps you feel you get stuck in, send me a message, put it in the comments. If you want it to be private, come over to my Instagram, send me a direct message, let me know what it is, and I can hopefully give you a video on that and just give you some thoughts and ideas, some coaching tools that can help you through it. So again, if this resonates with you, if this is something that you feel strongly that, yeah, I want to know more, I want to understand more, I want to be the best version of me, I want to stand in my power, and I don't want to be a victim in my own life anymore. I understand that I want to change the narrative. The narrative is the story that we tell ourselves, right? It's our thoughts, and they really are so, so powerful. I want to change that narrative in my own life. Go on, hit that subscribe button. Send it to someone who needs this. And as always, it is fantastic to be here with you today. Have a most fantastic day.